bright sky. Skates cut ice and the bat swing high. Big hits, big dreams, we talk it all live. Strap in, lock in, let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Welcome back to the Triple Threat Report, the show where we track every step, every swing, and every breakthrough in the rise of Jackson Vega. And this week felt different. Not because of one big moment, but because of how complete his game looked from start to finish. Let's start with last week against the Wichita Wind Surge, a series that quietly became the most well-rounded stretch of baseball he's played all season. Game 1 set the tone. 2 for 4, a double and a single, a couple of strikeouts mixed in, but the contact was loud and the timing was there. Game 2 was the eruption, 3 for 5 with a home run, a double, a single, and 6 runs driven in. That was the kind of performance that flips a whole series on its head. Game 3, he stayed steady. 1 for 3, drove in another run, handled his business. Game 4, same story, 2 more singles, 2 strikeouts, but he kept finding ways to put the ball in play. Game 5 was the quiet one and 0 for 3 night, but even then he found a way to contribute with a sac fly for an RBI. And Game 6 wrapped the week with another productive outing, 1 for 5, 2 more runs driven in, and a couple of strikeouts. When you zoom out, the Wichita series wasn't perfect, it was complete. 9 hits, a home run, 10 RBIs, extra base power, situational hitting, and production even on the nights where the swing wasn't perfect. And for the first time, even we on the podcast had to admit it, the kid is starting to look like someone who's figuring it out. Someone worth paying attention to. And that brings us into this week against the Corpus Christi Hooks, a staff that throws harder, attacks the zone more aggressively, and forces hitters to be on time from pitch 1. And Jackson didn't just survive it. He answered it. Game 1, 1 for 4 with a double and 3 strikeouts. Not pretty, but he found a way to leave a mark. Game 2, 2 for 5, 2 singles, 2 RBIs, a clean, controlled night at the plate. Game 3, 2 for 4, 2 more singles, another RBI. Game 4, 2 for 4 again, a double, a single, 2 RBIs. Game 5, 3 for 5 with 3 singles. And Game 6, 3 for 5 with 2 singles, a double, and another strikeout. He also walked twice in the series. 13 hits in 6 games. That's not luck. That's not streaky. That's a hitter who's starting to anticipate instead of react. A hitter who's learning how to win at bats instead of just taking them. A hitter who's competing every single night. And now the Sod Poodles head into a 6-game series against the Northwest Arkansas Naturals, a staff that mixes velocity with movement, throws cutters in fastball counts, and never gives you the same look twice. It's a test of discipline. A test of timing. A test of whether Jackson can keep stacking good at-bats instead of chasing the big swing. Can he carry the adjustments forward? Can he stay patient when the Naturals try to speed him up? Can he keep this climb going? We're about to find out. This is the Triple Threat Report. Stay tuned.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Triple Threat Universe. Today's episode 6. Let's get into it. Last time we played against Wichita Wind Surge. We simulated against the Corpus Christi Hook. We're playing Northwest Arkansas today. We have started to make some progress there, batting .247 now. Not that I can say that's in much thanks to me. But it also appears that thankfully the podcast is starting to give us some credit and saying that, he's doing somewhat decent. But here we go. Bottom of the first, man on first, no one out, down 2-0. All right. Yeah, fun fact, grounded into 11 double plays this season. But, all right, here we go. And looking to go for 12, I guess. Funny enough, after the, I mentioned, backyard sports, and more importantly, oh, well. But, after mentioning backyard baseball, I decided to look into it, and I didn't realize that there was 50. So, like, oh, that sounded like good contact. Bottom of the third, by the way. Oh, Patrick Forbes. Oh, okay, I'm guessing that's the teammate. There we go. I didn't even really think... I thought that was just good contact. But all right, I'll take it. The 2-run shot now. All right, top of the fourth now. We're up 3-2. Men on first and second. 1 out. All right, you got... I guess. All right, well. You can't win them all. 1 for 2 on the day now. We're down 7-4, bottom of the fifth. No one on, 1 out. But yeah, so I started to do some digging. I didn't realize that they... I mean, I'm sure they did, obviously they did continue the series after I stopped playing. But I probably stopped playing around 2005. Because that's when I went into like middle school and whatnot. But I didn't realize they did backyard skateboarding, I think is what it was called. Backyard skateboarding, and like even started doing stuff for the DS and stuff like that. But it was funny because I started to look into it, and oh, nice hit. I never realized that between that's what I was going to say. Between the first season, it was the first game released between 1997 and I guess 2001. I didn't realize that they had nerfed or toned down Pablo Sanchez's abilities. That was a terrible jump, but all right. That they had set, I guess they pulled back. I don't remember about how much. I don't know. I watched some video. Someone ranked a bunch of the games or went through them. Not so much ranked, but just, went through the entire series of the backyard sports games. Ooh. There was no reason for... I mean, I guess it was a decent steal. It keeps, what do you call it, from a force out at first, second, or third. But, come on. All right, well, we're down 8-4 now, bottom of the sixth. 1 on, 1 out. But... yeah, sorry, I keep just forgetting my train of thought there. But, I didn't really care about how overpowered Pablo was because he was always on my team, especially in baseball. But I could see why some people felt he was overpowered because it kind of felt like an automatic cheat. But bottom of the sixth now, top man on second, 2 outs. Oh. But I could definitely see how the pitching would get repetitive and how it would almost become like, too easy in a way. Get through? No. I don't think it would, but you never know. You always hope. And then that, some of the fields can, feel unbalanced, like Cement Gardens and Tin Can Alley, which I remember both of those, where it's like you hit it down that one alley and it would just either be a home run or a ground rule double. But it's bottom of the ninth now, no one on, 1 out. We just took that call. I just wasn't in any position to swing. We're 2 for 4 on the night. Get through. All right, 3 for 5 on the night. There we go. Now we're really starting to put respect to our name. Can he stretch it out to a double? And he definitely cannot. He is out by a mile. But I could definitely see some of that, some of those arguments with, I can definitely see some of the arguments with saying that some things were kind of unbalanced. Because, like, I was also, like I said, I was watching a video today where it was like they were just, the throws were just absolutely god-awful. Which, like, once again, it's a kid's game. But, like, not realizing just how many errors were done in like such a short amount of time, because I don't think they, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't, there we go, get the double play. Yeah, there we go. All right, well, we got out of a jam there. It was first and second, 1 out, and we turned to the double play, get our pitcher, help our pitcher out a little bit. But no, so like, I don't think they ever really counted it. They might have. I don't know. I would have to look into that. But it's bottom of the first. 1 on, no one out. Took that. But I just remember hockey being like a full-blown arcade game. Which, like, it obviously it is all arcade. Like, it's kids playing sports. But it just felt like it could be, like, it became like a 10-9 shootout almost every single time, and defense was like almost non-existent, and like you could shoot from, like, I felt like full ice and often score. All right, really should got lucky on those second, that third and fourth pitch. Oh, got 2 under it. But I definitely can see, like, the argument that goalies were inconsistent in that game, in backyard hockey, because, like, I just feel like they just, he could make an amazing save one time around, and then the next time he just completely blows a slow roller. But I also see the realisticness in it too, because it's like, you know, that happens in the NHL and in hockey in general. There was a good hit there. Nice single up the middle. Get an RBI. This is back-to-back games with RBIs now. But I also felt like the rinks, especially in that first Pros as Kids one, was very, like, there's only like 6 rinks total, not like the variety that you had in other games in that series. So that's just one thing, you know. I've also seen things where, like, you know, people were like, oh, it's too easy to score goals in backyard soccer, which, like, I have to agree as well. I feel like there were certain points where it was, like, kind of repetitive, but that's also where, like, you can only make it so hard because it is a kid's game. But all right, now we're going into, looks like the 3rd inning. We're in the field now, or no, the top of the 4th inning. No one on, no one out. We're up 3-0. We have one of those RBIs too. All right, showtime. I'm not getting. Yeah. I knew that was not going to be an out. But speaking of other, what do you call it?
The batter, number 7, Shortstop Jackson.
other old sports games. I remember the hurricane winds feature from like MLB 2K, and I just remember like you would see it would be like you could hit like a pop fly and it would end up being like going like 25, 2,000 to 2,500 feet and whatnot, which was just I feel like that was such a good feature. Should not have swung at that at all. All right, I'm just not going to swing the rest of this at bat. But there we go. And then I also remember where like you could hit balls that were going to be like way foul in normal conditions, but then it would go like right back into fair territory. I feel like those were like cool features that they had. Kind of like the mascot mode for what do you call it? College football back in the day. What's another nostalgic baseball game? I think MLB Slugfest. I always loved MLB Slugfest. That was just too funny too. That was a good game as well. And then what else? I also played Mario Baseball a lot with one of my friends. We loved like doing like the season and trying to get or not really season but challenge mode to try and get everyone as superstars. I remember this shows how good of a memory I do have sometimes, but I remember like we were playing and he went and he threw like a perfect game against Bowser's team in like the last game. Meanwhile, like to get the one perfect game that you needed with, I think it was Mario. Meanwhile, I remember I ended up playing against to get Mario a superstar. I ended up going and playing against like Yoshi's team and just run ruling them in the first inning so that like because it counted as a perfect game, but but I was ground out for us, or not for us, but for the other team. I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't pay too much attention in that game. We had a single and an RBI. We're 4-for-9 on the series. I want to say this is game number. This should be game number 3, if I'm not mistaken. This is either game number 3 or game number 4. I don't remember exactly. But here we go. It's the bottom of the first now. 1 in 2 outs, 1 on. But yeah, I think like so many good games back in the day. I don't know why I swung at that, but I did. Like I said, with Mario Baseball, like that was a lot of fun. But we would always like whenever my friend and I would play each other, we would play at Mario Stadium and just play with like no gimmicks or anything and just try to beat each other. And then we also played Mario Soccer or Mario Strikers, whatever it was called, the soccer version of Mario Baseball. Good hit. And I just I vividly remember like we were playing. We would always play the 16. It would be like an 8. I think it was 9 teams total. It would be you would play, I want to say each team twice in a round robin, and then it would turn into like, tournament style with like the top 4 teams or something. I don't know why. What? It doesn't matter. He got out anyways. And I just remember like the one time we were losing with like seconds to go. We ended up scoring and we tied it. And then like almost immediately after, the opponents ended up. Oh, I'm not gonna keep that cleanly, but the opponents ended up scoring like almost immediately after in overtime, and we ended up losing. So it was just like immediate heartbreak after excitement. Oh, I should have I should have swung. But bottom of the fourth now, scores tied at 1, 0-1, no outs, no one on. I'm trying to think what other good features there were and what other good games. Speaking of GameCube games, the same friend and I, we would also play Time Splitters 2, and we would do like the story mode, and I also remember like we ended up, we would also play like Capture the Bag or whatever it was. But I remember the third level was it was called Notre Dame, and we were trying. I accidentally hit triangle, not circle. But I remember we were trying to save the one like prisoner, and she was like suspended up in the sky, or up in the air. Oh, it's got really foggy out. Top of the 6th now, no one on, no one out. We're up 2-1. But I remember like we were trying for like a good 30 minutes trying to like see if like one of us had to shoot the rope and the other one had to catch her. So like it was like a good half hour before we were like, oh hey, why don't we try and why don't we try something else? And then that's like, we went and found a rope that just let her down safely. But it was just, extremely funny trying to figure it out, and then like being like, maybe there's a rope or something, and we struck out. Did not get on base. It is what it is.
Now batting, third baseman Josh.
Top of the 8th now. We're up. Oh no, we're down 3-2. Top of the 8th. No one on with 2 outs. Trying to think. Those were really the only games I played for. I played on the GameCube, like specifically. Oh, is that gonna be off? Yeah, that was a bad throw. Okay.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 7, Brett Squire.
It is what it is. They have more bad things to talk about us now. All right, bottom of the 8th now. 1 on, no outs. We're down 4-2. It'd be great if we what do you call it? Hit a home run, or at least a somewhat good double right now. But all right. Good hit. There we go. I'll take that.
Pick it up.
That is producing at its finest right there. Not amazing, but
The first baseman, number 5, Jesus Valdez.
all right. Here we go. Now we're on first. Bottom of the 8th. Come on, Valdez. Let's see what you can do here. I would almost want to like go and take a double steal. Doesn't matter now.
Now batting, the second baseman, G. Walter.
And safe. All right. Well.
Now The center fielder, number 13, Junior Bronco.
All right, well, now we're 6 for 13 in the series. We're batting just under 500, so not terrible. And we're almost 500 now on the season, win-loss wise. I didn't realize that there were so many other kinds of things that they had in the MLB 2K games, such as like the meatball pitch, where like what it says, pitcher missed the meter badly enough, it would serve up a glowing slow center cut pitch. But I can see why, because it's like, you're serving up a meatball.
The shortstop, Jackson Vega.
I also really like the outdoor rinks in those NHL 2K games, because they were just... I thought that was such a great feature that they had, because it was cool to play like that. Yeah. Probably right at my waist. Bottom of the first now, bases loaded, 1 out. Oh, I went deep in the zone for that. Alright, well, I'll take the sac fly on it. But,
Batting 7, the designated.
yeah, I really like that feature, because, I mean, like, I used to play, so I played quite a few outdoor games when I played hockey growing up, so it was a cool thing, but, like, I also know hockey, boys, here we go, trying to get a double play, he just he barely got a handle on it. But I also know hockey is extremely expensive to play, much less when you have multiple kids playing it, so... I always thought it was a cool thing when you got to play outdoors. I played both outdoors at night. We named our fish after you. All right, that's kind of weird. But I thought that was such a cool feature. Long story short, I know I keep repeating myself and I keep losing my train of thought, honestly. I don't know. I'm going to take that chance and challenge it. No? Okay. I guess not. Didn't even give me... Wait. That was way outside the zone. That's some BS. That was a good hit. Wow. I thought it was a good hit. I didn't think it would be a home run, but there you go. Okay, well, I'll take that home run any day.
Leading off for Northwest Arkansas, the right fielder, number 15.
All right, we're back in the field now, top of the fourth. No one on, no one out. 6-1. Trying to think what else, like what other games I loved growing up. I loved the Zamboni feature, Drive the Zamboni feature in one of, I don't remember which 2K game it was for hockey, but I know it was one of them.
Designated hitter, Sam Ruta.
I don't remember which game it was, but I always loved, like, after the whistle, I would go and just hit multiple, like, there's one of the NHL games where I would go and just hit, like, multiple guys after the whistle, and they would all just start chasing me. But it's about on the fifth now, 6-2, no one on, 2 outs, 2-0. But, all right, here we go. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they start. I don't even know what the heck that was. That was so bad. My finger slipped on that. Hopefully, I was just about to say. Hopefully they just start to mention calling us up to at least AAA soon. Okay, buddy. I'm trying to think what else. Excuse me. But I think also. All right. Well. I also remember with the backyard games, after a while, it ended up just not even being fun anymore because it would just become too easy with certain points. Like, I think I remember being like 63-0 or something close to that with like soccer the one time. Or baseball, one of the two, to where it was like I said, it just became no, and like I don't know what level I played on. That was a base knock though, so I don't know what that makes us now. I think it's 2 for 4 now. Also, if you haven't noticed, I turned off the menu music because like I kept, whenever I tried to upload, it would copyright it, even though like the songs were like perfectly fine. But we get the win. I think we did. They seemed kind of happy. Oh, 2 for 3 on the day. I think there might have been a sac fly there. I don't know. 3 RBIs sounds kind of right. I'm just gonna skip over that game all completely or entirely because I went, I think 0 for 3, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and the pop out. So definitely not my greatest moment so far, but yeah, I know, 0 for 4. You don't have to tell me twice. But yeah, like I definitely like the way things have the way they have them with like the Be a Pros and the season, or not seasons, but the career modes. But I also liked like the hecticness of NHL 2K and MLB 2K games because, you know, it kept it the way it was, which was, I don't know why that guy took forever to throw that to me at second, but, you know, I felt like it kept it as like an arcade-y kind of game. But, all right. Down 2-0, bottom of the first, no one on, 1 out, and I just... All right, let me focus for a second, because I'm just not doing well.
Nope, that's off the plate.
All right. But yeah, like I definitely like the new, like, I wonder if 2K could get through. Okay, off the glove. Come on, get through, get to it. Yeah, there we go. Not that it went, not to get through, but get to the bag. That was a good hit. I like it. Scored it as a base hit too. What? It's not like I was gonna steal or nothing. But I wonder how 2K could compare to like EA Sports in today's day and age. Like, would it be kind of the same, or would they go and just update graphics? Like, because you know how, like, you always look back and you're like, oh, you know, when you were in that time frame, you were like, oh, these graphics couldn't get any better and stuff like that. Like, I always see stuff on TikTok about it. I think I've seen it mostly with, like, wrestling video games from, like, Nintendo 64. Nah. Well, where like it was like, oh, these graphics can't get any better, and it's you know, it could totally get better. But that was also like the early 2000s. Top of the third now, no one on. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and get through, get it? There we go. Whenever I say get through, and I'm not hoping for it to get through, you know what I mean. I'm either trying to get to the bag in time, or get the ball to the bag in time. But all right, not doing too hot lately, especially last game. Like I said, we're gonna skip that one completely, just because there was nothing good that happened. So, but it's bottom of the third now. Runners on the corners, 1 out, 0-1 because I swung at a ball. But yeah, I definitely wonder if like 2K were to come back with like one of those games, would they? Ooh. That wasn't even like a big hit. That was more of like just a liner. I mean, an exit velocity of 104. That was a nice hit. That was good, like just good contact right there. But all right.
Now batting, the center fielder, Carson Rutherford.
Here we go. Come on, make the play now. But yeah, I wonder if 2K could compete, whether it was baseball or say, bottom of the fifth now. We're up 3-2 because of us. No one on, no one out. I wonder if they could compete, just because I feel like EA Sports, they do well, but I feel like they get too grounded in like certain things. Nice hit. Yeah. Oh, is that going to be a triple? I doubt it's going to be a triple. I'm going to try and stretch it, but oh, they're saying go 3. Is that going to be a triple? Is that our first career triple? Yep, it is. Now all we need is a double. But, no, so I'm wondering if they were to go and do that because with 2K, because like I think it was NHL 2014, NHL 14, whatever, however you said it, where he went down looking. Because like I think that was when it had like you had your team, your agent, your family, and your friends or something like that. I don't remember the exact combination, but like safe, nice. Where like you had to answer like questions with the media and keep them all happy. All right. Bottom of the 6th now, up 5-2, no out, or 2 outs, no one on. Yeah, I know, I'm just shy of the cycle. And I think it just jinxed me. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, for the longest time, I didn't realize... Ooh, that definitely did not feel good. Yeah, I mean, that's just bad luck, you know. That's just bad luck with that. Like, I see a lot of people that get upset with it. I don't know if they're being serious, but from, like, what I gauge, they are serious when they see stuff like that. But, like, if it's happened in real life, then it can happen in the game, too, in my opinion. But that's just bad luck, to be honest. All right, bottom of the 8th now. We're up 5-2 still. 2 on, 2 out. Like I said, hopefully this series really helps us get some looks from the ML, or at least the AAA club, and we get moved up soon. Ugh. Ooh. I swung. Yeah, it says I swung under it, but that was just. Well, no double, no cycle for us. It is what it is, though. What are you gonna do? All right. Three for 5, 38 RBIs. I can't complain about that, but all right. I'm gonna head back to the clubhouse now. But at least we're 273 for batting average nowadays. Can't really complain too much about that. Let's look at the goals. We're 4 for 6 with home runs. Legacy, outlook, is this it? All right, well, we're still not ready, but once again, thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the series, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the next episode. See you guys later.